Now, this is Aaliyah Burton. And who else will know the Honorable Chris Burton other than Leah? She's going to introduce her daddy.
Good evening and welcome. Thank you all for being here tonight. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Aaliyah Burton, as Miss Dot said, and I'm here tonight to tell you a little bit about the mayor before he comes to speak. Most people know him as Chris or Mayor Burton, but I just call him Daddy. Mayor Burton was born and raised in Ivor, South Carolina, and graduated from Dixie High School in 1990. My dad has lived in Honeypath since 1994, and he is married to Erin Burton. He has 2 daughters, Alex Cowan and I, and he also has 1 stepdaughter, Morgan, a stepson, Leslie, and a son-in-law, Matthew. He is granddaddy to Sadie Cowan and has another granddaughter on the way. She is due to arrive in April. Mayor Burton has an industrial electronics degree from Tri-County Technical College, and he is currently a professor of mechatronics at Greenville Technical College, where he absolutely loves his job. Mayor Burton was elected by the citizens of Honeypath in November of 2019. Since then, he has put his all into this town and its people, and I, for one, could not be more proud of him. Now, if you'll please join me in welcoming Mayor Christopher Burton to give his State of the Town address.
Nothing like your baby getting you all teary-eyed before you get on stage and speak, right? Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests. Welcome and thank you for being here tonight for the State of the Town here in Honeypath. At this time, I would like to introduce some of our distinguished guests that are here this evening. And I hope I really hope I don't leave anybody out. We're going to start with the postmaster here in Honeypath. Although the postmaster does not report to town officials, it is a huge part of our town, and it is a federal job. But I would like to introduce our postmaster, Miss Lisa Penland. Another aspect that keeps the town running, and usually not in a good way to criminals, is the justice system. And tonight we have the privilege of having our very own judge and his wife, Mr. and Ms. Skip Bannister, here with us tonight, the judge for Honeypath. Of course, we know who the brains behind that is, and not to take anything away from Judge Bannister's wife, but that's Elizabeth Garber. She is the clerk for the judge here in Honeypath. Elizabeth, thank you for being here this evening. We also have Mayor Horn from Ware Shoals with us tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Newly elected, I hope to have some meetings with him very soon and discuss moving forward with our 2 towns and the things we share together. Senator Gambrell is the senator from our area for the state of South Carolina. Representative Jay West, also from our area for the state here. It's an honor to have Deputy Chief of Staff, Mr. Watkins, with our representative to the United States House Representative. Mr. Duncan, of course, is our representative. Mr. Watkins, thank you for being here. We also have Mr. Duncan's field representative with us tonight, Ms. Patterson. Thank you for being here as well. I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Sloan. Mr. Sloan with Petals and Bloom was the one that put the table ornaments together for us tonight. And if you would like to grab one on your way out, please do so, except Miss Dot wants to make sure she gets hers first. Is that right, Miss Dot? Mr. Sloan, thank you so much for the greenery and the table ornaments today. I also like to thank, again, Graces and Rick DiPatrillo and his staff for the fine meal that was prepared and served to us tonight. Thank you, Mr. Williams, for blessing it before us. If you would, please stand and salute the flag of the United States of America. And repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. At this point, I would like to introduce all of our council members and give them a 15 or 20 minutes to speak each. And at this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Earl Ashley. Earl Ashley is our Ward 1 representative. Mr. Ashley has been a member of Town Council since March of 2021 when he was elected in a special election to replace resigning member Andy Sullivan. Mr. Ashley recently won re-election for a 4-year term back in November. Mr. Ashley is also the chairman of the Economic Development Committee. Meetings with this committee should start very soon on addressing issues within Honey Path. Mr. Ashley, would you please stand and tell us a little bit about your ward?
Well, first of all, I'm not going to use 15 minutes to look and relax. Don't pay any attention to West.
Up on the mic.
I'm very happy to represent Ward 1. I've had the honor of serving this for a little bit over a year, roughly, and I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen. I have a cell phone number that's available to me, and I don't just represent Ward 1, I represent Burton. So I want you guys to know that just because I'm Ward 1 doesn't mean I don't, on your request for the lead, I'm available for compliments, criticism, for our town. I've set myself up for it. But, you know, it's a kind of a crazy thing. When I first moved into Honey Path, a lot of people asked me, are you going to run for office? Never had thought of that, to be honest with you. Because that's not behind the scenes and not front. But I can tell you, I love Honey Path. Moved to Honey Path 40 years ago, and married my wife, and raised our son here. We got a church here. I work in the community. I think it's a great place. You know, a lot of small towns get a bad name because they're small towns. But I can tell you right now, Honey Path is a good place to work. It's a good place to work. It's a good place to go to church. It's good people. Have a place to go. But I want you to know I'm available for you, how I can help you. I look forward to serving you. Thank you.
For the rest of the speakers, if you do not want to come up here and speak as you're called, please speak up a little louder. A few people couldn't hear. Earl's kind of quiet anyway, though, except at home, right, Bonnie? Representing Ward 2, Mr. David Fields. Mr. Fields has represented the town in Ward 2 since the election in November of 2019. Mr. Fields spends a lot of his spare time riding the town streets looking for areas needing improvement and is very instrumental in the cleanup of the town. Mr. Fields, would you please stand, introduce yourself, and talk a little bit about your ward?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. My name is David Fields. I'm a council member here for the town of Honey Path. I represent Ward 2. Some of us that don't know this is off of West Hampton, on the other side of Pinson. Like the mayor said, I spend a lot of time riding, checking everything. Currently working on our street signs now, working on getting those fixed, and the lighting here. My number is also online. I'm available at any time. So I'm going to keep it short. I want to keep it long. But if you ever need anything, be sure to call, reach out to any of us. We represent the whole town. So thank you.
Representing Ward 3, and a name I tend to never get right but half the time, and I'm sorry for that. Representing Ward 3 is Miss Jean Parrott. Ms. Parrott has been on the council since 2013. Ms. Parrott is chairman of the Welcoming Committee, recently formed after the last election. This is a new committee, and we wish Ms. Parrott well in her endeavors. I'm sure she and a few citizens will make the town proud, welcoming new families into our community. Ms. Parrott, would you please stand and share a few words with us?
Good afternoon. My name is Jean Parrott, and I'm sure that most of you know me. I've been around here in Honey Path for quite a while. But it is a pleasure to serve as your council member from Ward number 3. I enjoy working with the people, and if anyone at any time feel a need to call me, please do so. My number is listed also, and you can call me mostly anytime after 12 o'clock at night until about 10 the next morning. But I enjoy my job and I enjoy working with people. I'm not a one to do a whole lot of talking, but if you let me know, I will take care of it. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Ms. Parrott. Representing Ward 4 is Ms. Rebecca Robinson. Ms. Robinson has been on the council since 2016. Ms. Robinson serves on the planning committee, and her hard work and diligence has led to several outstanding fireworks shows here in the town of Honey Path and festivals that she helped plan and coordinate. Ms. Robinson, would you please stand and speak about your ward a few?
I'm Rebecca Robinson. I'm sorry for my throat. Like he said, I've been on council since 2016. I love my job. I love the people here. I want to help make our town the best that it can be, and it takes work from you, citizens, from us, all working together. And as the previous council has said, our numbers are listed on the webpage. All you have to do, give us a call, one working with the other. We want to get this town growing. I just want everything to be happy. So, and I'm sorry, I had lots of things written down. Some other things that I do, like you said, I am on the planning committee, and I love doing that. I love to see people come out and have a good time. And we all stress over it, but in the end, it's well worth it. And my husband and I, we kind of formed a little committee on our own, the little beautification committee here, and we go around through town, and if we see something that doesn't look right, I'll call the mayor, or he'll say, I'll call the chief. If it needs to be cut down, we'll cut it down. If it needs to be pulled up, we'll pull it up. And my vision is to make this town, I want it to be pretty, I want it to be clean. And if any of you ever have any questions, just feel free to call the office or reach out again on the website, and I'll be glad to get in contact with you. And I thank all of you for coming tonight. It's been a blessing for us. Thank you.
Representing Ward 5, Ms. Dot Evans. Ms. Evans has been on council for just over 13 years. She is also chairperson of the planning committee, where she and other members have done an outstanding job. So many people are so happy that the festivals have been brought back to the town, and that is thanks to your leadership. Ms. Evans, thank you for putting this evening together and planning this and coordinating and getting Mr. Sloan and Mr. DiPetrillo together and setting all this forth and getting it rolling tonight. Would you please stand and speak on behalf of your ward?
Okay, now everybody knows me. I ought to come up there and stand by him on.
Come on.
We can't hear you.
But you knows me, and like I've been on the council ever since 2008, and I try my best to grant you what you ask for. But now don't ask me for nothing that's silly and nothing that's for real, because I can't make it happen. But if it's something that needs to be done, I will try my best to see that it's happening. I will call. If I can't do it, I'll get the mail to do it. Or most of the time I can't do anything because I don't run tractors or trucks. I don't drive them big trucks. But I check with the maintenance of what I do. And I will fill your requests as best as I can. Now, in my ward, right now, we are working on the grinder pumps, which is the sewer. And a lot of my people in the ward are kind of complaining because of their yard. It's been raining, and it's been muddy, and it may be some trial and error, but we have talked, and I can assure you, before it's finished and after they get to putting them in each resident, they're going to come back and straighten your yard out. Isn't that right, Nat?
Yes, ma'am. Good answer.
Wait until after the project is finished. If you're not happy, call me. I'll call Matt. Matt don't satisfy you, he gonna try. He gonna do his best. And he gonna go to me. All right. anything else, but don't forget, don't call me about silly stuff. All right, but I'm here to serve, okay? I try to boss these others around, don't I?
Yes, ma'am.
I think we all gonna start calling her mom instead. Ward 6 council member is Mr. Jim Taylor. Mr. Taylor has been on council since 2019 in November, where myself and David Fields were both elected in that same election. Mr. Taylor is chairman of the Public Service Committee that deals with the fire, EMS, rescue, police department, whatnot. Mr. Taylor, would you please stand and give a few words?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, certainly, first thing I'm going to do this evening is apologize to Dot, because she has really surprised me with how well of a preparation she did with this excellent meal, excellent turnout. So Dot, I'm going to have to stop saying all those bad things about you. But seriously, I've been fortunate to serve the town of Honey Bath on the council since 2019, and one interesting story there, I was fortunate that we had a good representative in Ward 6 prior to my coming on council, and that was Ellis Lark. I don't know if any of you remember Ellis, but he was a wonderful, godly man that I had the opportunity to serve with at First Baptist Church, and I've known Ellis my entire life. So when he gave me the heads up saying, look, this might be it, of course, that's when I threw my hat in the ring. Because like Ellis, my heart is in his town. Like a lot of you, you know, you want to see not only this generation, my generation, but we've had the opportunity to see the generations that came before us and see what the possibilities can be. And we're right in there along with people our age, but we're also looking at our children and our grandchildren and their children after that. And we want this to be a wonderful place to raise your family, to worship who you want to worship, and enjoy the life that our Heavenly Father has given us in this town. And we're fortunate that we have a bunch of key people in different job positions. I know we pick on Tim a lot, but you know, we're blessed to have people like that plugged in and helping in this town and making things happen in this town. I'm also fortunate that I have the opportunity to serve with people like Dot and everyone else to try and get us steered in the right direction. We have challenges in Honey Path, just like our good friends in Ware Shoals. There are a lot of economic challenges since NAFTA went into effect in 1993, and a certain president at that time frame pulled the rug out from beneath middle-class America. So all of us small towns, not just Honey Path, not just Belton, Williamston, whomever, Star, Iva, and Ware Shoals, we've got challenges that we have got to put our team together, get our focus on, and make sure that we get each of our communities going in the correct direction, that we can not only survive, but we can thrive and provide that place that we all look forward to, home.
Thank you all for taking the time to come up and speak. I would like to introduce the town's department heads and my staff at this point. Mr. Sam Gilmer, would you please just stand so everybody will see you? Mr. Gilmer, who heads up the mayor's Facebook page and also contributes to the Belton Honey Path Chronicle for town events, interest, and the business from the town, including reports from the council meeting. Sam really does a lot behind the scenes as well, so thank you, Sam, for everything you do. My assistant, Miss Leslie Walker, she wasn't able to be here tonight. She is home quarantined, and I just want to say that I am sick and tired of COVID, and I wish it would go away, but unfortunately it's the life we live in right now, the world we live in. As most of you know, I am also the president of the Anderson County Municipal Association, and she attends these meetings with me as well to take notes, and she sets the agenda for those meetings as well as setting up speakers with the input from Miss Pamela Christopher. If you do not know her, she's with Anderson County. She is also very instrumental in the newsletter for the town. Miss Walker plans and schedules the borrowing of trucks and trailers with close contact with Director McCullough. This is a policy that I implemented about a year and a half ago, trying to clean the town up a little bit instead of a renter dumping all the stuff out on the street. Hey, let's borrow our trucks from us and keep the town clean. And you put your trees and limbs in these trucks and we'll haul it off for you. But anyway, Ms. Walker's very instrumental in that aspect of the job as well. Ms. Walker also has many other duties, too much to list, but I did want to mention her tonight. Tim Pace is director of the rec department, and he's doing an excellent job in my mind. Director Pace first started in May of 2006. He took over director in 2015. Tim, would you please stand and tell a little something about what's going on at the rec department, as well as the changes at the rec department over the last couple of years that the mayor and council has afforded to the rec department?
Y'all just bear with me. I'm not the greatest speaker in the world, but first of all, Mayor, I just want to thank you, Town Council. Same thing as Mr. Taylor, everybody said, it's one big team effort. And listen, old country boy like me, I have been thoroughly blessed. I really have. I get support from my council. Our programs in the last year, we've done stuff that we never dreamed we would do. And it's all because everybody here being a part of it. We just got finished up. We had a build. We got some money. The mayor acquired some money for us. We built a new storage building. If you've been by the rec center, you'll see it out there. So we got a new track. We got a 1023 4-foot rotary dirt box with a 4 cubic foot bucket. We've never had a tractor. We've always done stuff with shovels and rakes, you know. So we're knocking it over leaps and bounds. We also, like I said, girls softball last year and the boys this past year, we was able to acquire some money from the state park grants. We was able to laser grade our boys field, also our girls field, and that was the best thing in the world. Those fields have been in good shape for 10 years now. We just got to maintain. Wonderful thing. I just came back from a meeting in Anderson last week. Dignitaries, we were just blessed with some more pardon money coming here pretty soon. Thank you guys, blessed. And like I said, people don't realize the recreation department, it's not me, it's people involved. That's what makes us function. Well, our little football team this year went undefeated, 13-0 season, went undefeated, won the Anderson County Football Championship. Listen to what I'm telling you, Anderson County, this little town, these little kids believe in this little community. It's because of the output of love that makes them believe in this community. I'm just the guy that allocates stuff. But Mayor, I just want to tell y'all, listen, I'm humbled every day. God bless y'all, and thank y'all so much for the opportunity to do what I do. I love you.
Thank you, Mr. Pace, and you have set the opportunity for me to embarrass somebody, so you know I'm going to take full advantage of that. Yes, sir. Mr. Porter, would you please stand? He said no, but I want to let everyone know that the coach of the 10 and under ball team, would you please stand? Undefeated for Anderson. As well as Mr. Porter was on the team as well. Chief Jimmy Smith, chief of the fire department. We all call him Doc. Doc has been chief since 1995. Chief Smith, would you please stand and tell a little something about your department, maybe what's been going on the last couple of years and where the department stands as far as infrastructure and employees, please?
Yeah, 15 minutes. I find that hard to do. 15 minutes I do.
You can take Tim's other 7 too.
The fire department here is in good standing. There's been a lot of changes over the past year. Mayor's going to address some of that later. But we go basically having 14 full-time firemen and 29 volunteers to change the Anderson County EMS system. We go to 3 full-time firemen, 1 part-time, Watkins and myself full-time chief, and 39 volunteers. With those people now, last year we answered 1,757 calls. We will put a fire truck from the time you call 911. We'll put a fire truck at your front door in 2 minutes and 48 seconds. We do this, we have 4 engines, and a ladder truck, a quick response truck, and we also have a fire marshal position. Our fire prevention program is real active. Last year, because of COVID, we didn't have to install a new smoke detector. Shut that work down for this part of the year. We actually did about 14 smoke detectors. We did 302 business inspections, 174 residential inspections. So we're real busy on that point. We had 565 training classes with 16,380 man-hours of training. That's a lot to ask for volunteers. I volunteer today for the ISO Class 2 department. We're knocking on the door of 1 with the Community Corporation of our mayor and council. Everything before that. With the change fell on, we need to consolidate, save money, decided that the council did to close down Station 2, and sell Station 2, which that's to be finalized in the next few days. With that, we're going to have to move fire truck back downtown. We don't have enough room. So the council is working on a plan to get very close to having the truck down to Station 1 at the station, B station. And also would like to take a look at continue the fund to have the paper. We're in good shape. We're going through a lot of changes. I don't think any change will negatively affect the services we provide to the citizens. We still provide an active medical response program. Most times first responders on the scene. Everything well trained and they're stabilized for that. Again, like Tim, none of this would be possible without the backing of the mayor and council. They have been very supportive. I always tell them that they don't give us all that we want, but they give us all that we need. Thank you all.
Mr. Matt McCullough. Matt McCullough is over the water and sewer, sanitation, including trash pickup, and the street department. I think our maintenance department is doing an outstanding job. Want to make sure you hear that from me in front of everyone. Director McCullough, would you please stand and tell us a little something about what's going on with the grinder pumps Ms. Dot spoke about earlier, and where we are as far as switching over to radio read meters?
Yes, sir. Well, Ms. Dot spoke earlier. We are in the process of, we're trying to finish up a project we got a grant for to install 58 grinder pumps in her neighborhood in particular. We got 24 left to install. Hopefully within the next couple months we'll be finishing that up and cleaning everybody's yard up. So far we've got 2 really mad at us out of 24, so we're doing pretty good. Radio read meters, we've installed since last year. We've installed about 300. So we got approximately 750 or so to go. We'll have the entire town be drive-by read on the water meter. Some other information, like Mayor alluded to, I manage 4 departments for the town: street, sewer, water, and sanitation. And in the street department, since last year, we hauled off 475 truckloads of limbs, 294 truckloads of junk. Most of that was from evictions, I think. We repaired 50 leaks, and we either unstopped or repaired 37 sewer calls. We've been averaging 50 tons of garbage we haul off every week, and that's up 10% since 2019. 15 full-time employees now, got 2 part-time, and I'm fortunate that I got some characters, but they are a really good group of people. That's about it from me.
2 out of 24, that's just under 9%. It's pretty good. Okay. Last but definitely not least, Miss Beverly Crawford. She is the town clerk. She has been with the town for 43 years. She is clerk treasurer since October of 2007. Ms. Crawford wishes not to speak tonight, and I'm assuming the other department heads didn't realize that was an option at this point. Thank you all. This time I would like to start by introducing our grant writer, Ms. Jan Bratcher. Since I've been mayor, we have included in our budget funds for a grant writer. And I would like to list the accomplishments so far in the fiscal year that Ms. Bratcher has brought to the town. If you would, please wait until I get done, and then we'll recognize you at that point, because I want these people to understand, these citizens to understand exactly what you've done for this town. Ms. Bratcher has written and received for the town of Honey Path grants totaling nearly $127,000. Of these funds, $15,450 were from the CARES Act. She has applied for and received a $6,000 grant from the Major League Baseball Foundation, which the rec department used to upgrade fences in the outfield of one of our ball fields. A $4,200 grant was awarded for body cameras for our police department, and COVID emergency supplement funding for the police department totaled $18,628. Recently, we were awarded the South Carolina Municipal Association grant for downtown facade renovation to the tune of $25,000. This is a matching grant. We will be getting with our businesses downtown soon to divide up these funds. It is a matching grant. We received an SRO equipment and vehicle grant totaling $57,585, which will be used for the SRO position at the middle school for a new vehicle. This is a grant that no money's come from the pockets of Honey Path citizens. Ms. Bratcher has also submitted a grant for $74,839 for SRO salary for the town and the police department. That's in addition to what grant I was just speaking of that was funded already. She has also written and submitted a grant for $101,200 for 12 sets of SCBAs for the fire department. So if these two grants get funded as well, Ms. Bratcher will have brought into the town of Honey Path over $300,000 that the town of Honey Path citizens do not have to come up with through taxes, fees, or funds, or water bills, or utility bills, or anything like that. As you can see, Ms. Bratcher has more than went above and beyond in her duties as grant writer for the town of Honey Path. Please join me in a much-deserved round of applause for Honey Path's grant writer, Ms. Jan Bratcher. Thank you all. Thank you for all you do, Ms. Bratcher. Over the last year with the COVID pandemic and all the other issues in town, we were still able to give the town of Honey Path several festivals that turned out to be a big hit with the citizens. I hope it will continue in the future. The planning committee recently requested and was granted $30,000 from the hospitality funds to carry out festivals and activities for the town of Honey Path throughout the 2022 year. Starting with Diversity Day in February 20th from 2 to 5. We will be celebrating African American culture and history here at the Watkins Community Center, the building you're in currently. April 16th, we will have our annual Easter egg hunt from 10 to noon. Also in April, we'll bring back the Honey Stopping Festival that most of you are well aware of, which will be on April 22nd, 2022. We hope to have a stew hash cook-off during this festival as well. As always, on Memorial Day, we will have our Memorial Day program from 10 until. Our 4th of July celebration with fireworks will be on Saturday, July the 2nd this year from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So it will be an all-day event. And we most definitely look for Ms. Robinson to supply us with the fireworks again. October brings the Sugarfoot Festival on the 7th and 8th, starting at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Friday, and continuing Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. October also brings about our trick-or-treat with the merchants downtown. beginning at 5 p.m. on Halloween Day. And the planning committee has decided that the trick or treat with the merchants, and the merchants decided that it will be on Halloween Day from now on, regardless of what day it falls on. This year, the lighting of the town Christmas tree will be at 5:45 p.m. It will take place on November the 20th, and the parade will be December 3rd, beginning at 11 a.m. I hope to see crowded events and festivities all year. The planning committee has worked very hard for you to plan and pay for these as we raise funds through advertisement and other venues. More details to come soon. Please be looking for announcements in your newsletter and advertisements in the paper for these events. With the passage of the ARP, American Rescue Plan, the town of Honey Path was allocated roughly $1.9 million of these funds, which were very specifically dedicated to certain infrastructure needs. These funds are once in a lifetime, much needed for capital improvements. These monies will go towards maintenance items that we have been putting off and then limping along because of funding. These monies that we are receiving will stop the increase that we were planning to add to taxes or utility bills going forward. So we are saving the citizens of Honey Path future increases in funds by using this ARP money towards our problemed areas in town. The first round of ARP funds, we received roughly $900,000, which we quickly allocated towards refurbishing one of our water tanks. Parts of these funds was used to give town employees a much-needed bonus as they worked through the COVID pandemic without stop. They didn't have an option to stay home and be quarantined. They were continuing to police our streets, stop fires, pick up the trash, and things such as that. With this money, we will also be buying enough radio read water meters to complete the entire town on said water meters. These meters will save the town money, which will be passed on to citizens eventually. I have asked Matt to please have these completed by the end of the year. Therefore, reading meters will be more consistent in just a couple of days a month, and we can reduce the man hours needed for reading the meters. Right now, it's taking at least a week, sometimes more, to read meters. With these radio read meters, the meter reader simply needs to drive by where the meter's at, and it picks up on their handheld scanner, and saving time and man hours. The second lump sum should come sometime in the year, this year or early next year, at which time the council and I will sit down and determine what's best use for the money. As you are aware, Anderson County asked for bids for the EMS for the entire county to be serviced. Although Honey Path did submit a bid, we were unsuccessful in that venture, and ultimately MedSure was awarded the contract. As bad as we hated to do this, we had no choice but to lay off some people and sell out our fleet of ambulances as well as Station 2, as Chief Smith spoke on earlier. MedSure has purchased Station 2 for approximately $244,000, which I asked council to put in a savings account to start rebuilding our reserve fund that has been depleted over the last few years. I also asked council to make this account accessible only through a motion, a second, discussion, and a vote by your elected officials. Therefore, I want this money to not be touchable by anybody without council's approval. We really need to rebuild our reserve fund as, like I said, it has been depleted. I'd like to give an update on the Chicola Mill site. I should be hearing really soon from an investor that is looking to clear and develop this land. This is in addition to the investor that we've been talking to for the last 4 or 5 years that apparently nothing has come to fruition from. So hopefully something will get rolling on the Chicola Mill site this year. If I do not hear anything back from this new investment firm that I've contacted by the end of March, then I will be requesting monies from the state. And I'm going to pause there and say thank you, Senator Gambrill and Representative West, for being here this evening. I will be, come again? I will be asking the state for funds to continue the debris removal of the debris off the mill site. If you remember back a year and a half or so ago, we removed nearly 1,700 tons of C&D off the Chicola mill site and was able to put that in a landfill in Anderson County. So again, got some things in action. I'm not going to build your hopes up over the next 3 or 4 years thinking that we got something that's already in the works. I'm working on it. So we will see at the time if this comes to fruition. Excuse me. I would like to mention again the Ward 1 representative, Mr. Earl Ashley, is also chairman of the Economic Development Committee, and very soon he will start meeting with his staff and the volunteers. One of the priorities I will be steering him towards is the old Fred's building. The reason I bring that up tonight, you'll see shortly. I would like everyone to know that I have reached out to Walmart and Aldi and Lidl and several other grocery stores to develop this building back into something good for the town of Honey Path. I get the same response every time. Honey Path just ain't big enough to support 2 grocery stores. Okay, did y'all hear that? Just not big enough. I have a lot of calls, texts, voicemails, and messages suggesting I get Aldi to come to Honey Path and take over the Fred's building. If I could call Aldi and make them come here, I would. Guess what? They're not coming. Trust me, I've tried, but they're not interested. I begged and pleaded. The one thing that keeps recurring, though, is the number 5,000. If we can build this town limits to approximately 5,000 citizens, several chain stores have said they would be more interested in coming to Honey Path. My goal is to have Honey Path around 5,000 citizens by the end of my 2nd term, if the citizens allow me to. That's me plugging my candidacy for 2023. While we're talking about the old Fred's building, if anyone in the audience would like to buy it and develop it, something good for our town, I believe they're asking $600,000 for it, but a little bird told me you could probably get it for around $450,000. So see me after the meeting if you got that kind of cash laying around, and we will put something in Fred's. As you can see, the town of Honey Path is struggling no more or no less than any other small town around us. We are working diligently to try to make Honey Path a better place to live. I do honestly believe with some of the policies that I'm implementing, along with council's approval and their input, and the money that we've received from the federal government as well as the state, and how we choose to spend this money, has and will continue to reduce the burden on the citizens. When it comes to our utility bills, sometimes people get on social media and compare our utility bills with someone out in the country that take their own trash off and have a septic tank. Well, naturally, Honey Path's water bill is going to be a lot more than somebody that does not use Honey Path utilities. But we're working on it, okay? I realize our utility bills are a little higher than a lot of places, but as I try to tell people all the time, we have to buy water from Belton Honey Path Water Authority. We have to maintain the lines in Honey Path ourselves. We have to buy sewer space in Ware Shoals for our sewer to go to and be treated. They have expenses. We have to pay them for that expenses. Okay? We're trying our best, and we're working closely, and we'll continue to work closely with Ware Shoals to try to reduce the burden on the citizens in both towns. The grinder pump project that is currently going on in town should be wrapping up by the end of spring or early summer, at which time maintenance department will come back around and make sure your yard is appropriately smoothed out and grass replanted. Director McCullough recently requested a power rake for the maintenance department, which will create a cheaper as well as quicker cleanup for the fixing of people's yards after the grinder pumps have been installed. Council approved this 5-0. The only reason it wasn't 6-0, I'm assuming that one council member was not present for the vote. But we can ask her now, would you have voted for that as well? It would have been 6-0 then. Thank you. The grinder pump project is tying up a lot of man hours, but I assure you once it's complete, we will begin to work on the roads in Honey Path and installing the radio read meters. Tired of hitting in potholes myself, but I understand the plight you have there. Soon we will be updating and revising our town ordinances. I would love to have a large turnout of citizens in that meeting so they can have input on what the ordinances in Honey Path should change to or from. Hopefully we will get on that in the new budget year starting June 1st. This is something that is way past due and is something that we as council have to address and take up as soon as possible. At this time, I'd like to introduce Chief Sean Bozeman, Chief of the Police Department. Chief Bozeman has been part of the Honey Path Police Department since January 1996, and he was appointed chief in December of 2019. Chief, would you please stand and give an account of the police department's accomplishments as far as drugs off the street, tickets, arrests, and warnings, sir? Can't hear you, Chief.
Yeah, you need to get
I'm not
a
good at public education.
Football practice.
Football practice.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, let me try a little louder. I wrote down the things I want to talk about. Our office currently employs 13 full-time employees, 9 fully certified, 3 currently in different stages of academic training, as well as 1 office manager, that's our records clerk. We have 17 patrol cars, and people always saying, why do you have 17 patrol cars? Because we need them. But what they won't tell you is 2 of them are free. We didn't pay for 2 of those cars. And thanks to Jan, we're getting ready to add to that fleet, a third. And so we're really happy about that. Upon being appointed chief, the mayor and I, first conversation, the mayor asked me something along the lines of, what do you think the town's biggest crime problem is? And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if he said it before me, we said at the same time, but it came out pretty much at the same time. Drugs. Is that not correct, Mayor?
That's correct.
We decided drugs, so we decided we was gonna focus our attention on drug enforcement. And we wanted to really increase our drug work, and we did. And we had a really good year. And I told the mayor many times, I don't think we can keep this up. I don't think we can match it. But anyway, and so I set some goals every year. And one of the goals this year was, I wanted to maintain that level of drug enforcement, and I wanted to increase the traffic enforcement, except I wanted to move that traffic enforcement away from the city limits inside the city. And luckily, I guess, fortunately, we were blessed. We achieved those goals. I was real happy with them. We made 37 drug arrests. We seized 4,651 grams of drugs. And that was more than we seized the year before the mayor was mayor and I was chief. We only made 11 drug arrests and seized 15.9, so I consider that a significant increase. And our ticket rate went up from 791 to 487, so I'm really happy with that. And another issue that we set as a goal, myself and the captain, we wanted to reduce the property crime because we really did have an increase in property crime. And our property crime came down this past year from 326 the previous year to 259. So I'm really pleased because that's all about patrol work. Our office recorded 362 arrests this year, which is very similar to last year. There's 1,118 reports, and that's 3,900 calls for service. All goals going into the next year is to maintain that same police intensity, that same level of enforcement, except we're going to try to be a little better at managing the taxpayers' dollars. And we want to really deepen our ties into doing some more community outreach programs. That's all I have. Thank you. Would you like to introduce your staff this weekend? Yeah, I'd be glad to. We got Captain Miller, he's in charge of patrol and equipment. We got Captain Sherry Marsh, he's in charge of special operations. He's really the police department, they do a very good job.
Mayor, can I say something right quick?
Sure.
I forgot to mention a while ago, Mr. Earl Ashley, you know, he's in a non-profit program around Honey Path called Community Chest. And I know a lot of people don't realize this, but we acquire money from that group every year. It's a non-profit organization, and you would not realize how much they help us. And I forgot to mention that a while ago, Mr. Ashley. I apologize for that. But thank you. Thank you.
All kidding aside, I did forget, most of council got up and spoke, all of council got up and spoke, and they kept mentioning their phone numbers and how to get in touch with them. It's honeypathsc.com, by the way, is the official town website. www.honeypathsc.com. All of our information is on that website, and it's a useful tool for finding out about the town of Honey Path as well. Again, it's been my pleasure to give the State of the Town address tonight and update citizens on some of the issues I get phone calls, texts, and messages about every day. Thank you all for being here. God bless you, and have a great evening.